Hi guys, Retro Trek Ralph here. I've got another Star Trek Ship to the Line calendar review. I've not done one of these since last year, because obviously last year's was the 2019 version. This time, brand new. Just come out today. Can't wait to get this open and have a look. Actually, I've already unwrapped it anyway, but fresh, brand new, never opened. So folded in the pages. Don't care. But I want to get this set up because my camera there's a line straight across here anyway. That's going to bug me. Let me get this set up and we'll get on with the review and show you all the goodies inside here. Okay, there we go. A little bit lights off, change on the white balance, but hey ho, here we have the first one now. Showing you, it's in landscape format, in other words it'll be turned round and there'll be 2 pages per month what it'll show you. This is the Universe version, the CBS version, so it's an official one, not like the last year where there was a copy from the year before, which is a bit of a cock-up. Right, let's have a look at this. This is the original series Enterprise, but not. Showing the potential landing legs, maybe the escape hatch, God knows what things. Never really fully explained these 2 bits on there, but you got the Empire logo with the sword going straight through the middle of the Earth, but that's actually wrong because that shouldn't that be the other way around? Unless, was that the Enterprise series that did it the opposite way around? Because it was a complete mirror of the Earth. So the Earth was the wrong way, but I'm sure the original series just did a planet Earth with Americas in front anyway, but the sword going through. That's really, if you look properly, this is obviously the Nomad probe, which was sent out, but Jackson Roykirk was the creator of that one. If you look hard on this, it does look quite different with the panelling on the ship. It does look a gorgeous ship. There's a star in the background here, solar flares possibly, but there you've got a torpedo bay, and definitely the wrong that's wrong is NCC 1701, which it should be there and there, but this is obviously their mirror, somebody's mirror universe version of this. It looks absolutely amazing. I mean, sometimes you look at these, you think there might only be a few pictures in this. They're going to be 12 at least anyway, but you always get a good one for the cover, and then maybe a centre one with yeah, in the middle as well. So that we'll hopefully getting 14 on this, maybe 13, I don't know. So the Nomad probe looks absolutely amazing. It's got one antenna sticking out here, got the aerial on top. Proper decking looks like inside here. The windows looks absolutely amazing. Even lights for shining on the front, which is the only came out with the movie version. Whereas this could be like a potentially phase 2 version of an Enterprise. It's absolutely amazing. You've even got the phaser banks on here as well, so it is definitely an upgraded version of what it possibly could have been. So actually along this side of here as well, I've got another Empire logo as well. I'm looking harder on this, see if I can find anything else. Yeah. Looks very similar on the nacelle. Yeah, love that. I don't know who did that one, but whoever it is, absolutely amazing. So, let's get into the first month, January. We have engaged species 8472. Wow. Doug Drexler and Ali Rees. Sorry if I pronounce this wrong, and if you ever watch any of my videos, I will be impressed if you do watch them, but wow. I do like a good Voyager picture. There's a lot of good detail on Voyager, and a lot of smooth, flat work that the model kind of is very forgiving with. It doesn't need an Aztec panel, it doesn't need anything extra on it. There's got so much detail on a lot of bits, but there's a smoothness to the Voyager as well, which can easily, it just look good. It's a good looking ship from some angles. From certain angles it looks like a donkey, but some, like this, the top angle, looks really nice. Very, very nice. Got the Species 8472 ships, 4 of them there. Got some sort of anomaly in the background. And you have, I'm sure that will be one of their space stations that the Species 8472 did construct over the time that we actually saw them on the... I'm just in awe of the pictures on it. I'm looking forward to this more than anything. But they're really good. Everything looks absolutely spot on. Running lights right way around. Nameplate on the front. You can see inside. If you could zoom in properly, really decently on the front of there, you could see other panels and probably, was it the restaurant, the canteen on the front of there? I'm not sure. But it looks absolutely brilliant. Rear torpedo launchers, shuttle bay. And these ships, weren't they part organic ships? Do you know the organic ships we saw before this? I think it was in Babylon 5 with the Vorlon ships. They were alive, but they weren't, but they were. But yes, when the Vorlon leader died, the ship would then die along with it or something. I really need to go back to Babylon 5 and rewatch that again. Yeah. January. Very, very good. Very nice. Even got all the numbers on the escape pods as well. You've got a bit of shadow work across here, a little bit down there. So it's something possibly, is it this? Casting a shadow over there, maybe too thin for that. Possibly might be that section of the wing. Very good. Very, very nice indeed. Right, anybody want February? Ooh, hello, Poppy. Right. Last Stand at Sector 001, the title is. This is by DM Phoenix. Good God, this looks amazing. I'm always taken by digital art. I absolutely love it. I could never draw it, but I could potentially try to construct a kit of these sort of things. I have the Defiant model, which you'll have either seen or you haven't. If not, then have a look on my channel. These are the Sabre classes, aren't they? Because they've got the nacelles actually bolted inside. Well, the saucer section's there, and looks like the pylons are bolted onto the bottom section. It looks very much like an Enterprise C sort of section for this saucer, but very much compressed in, very much Enterprise E sort of bottom section. Well, one of them properly taken a beating there by the Borg, which obviously this section behind is a Borg, but I don't know what Borg ship it could be, because you've got at warp, so they're obviously travelling pretty quickly. But they're coming into something. Maybe there's a huge Borg ship when they've got a, I don't know, maybe some sort of tunnel. Maybe they're going into, well, I don't know. You know the section on First Contact with the Borg cube and it goes back in time? Well, actually, it sends the ball back in time. Maybe it's that section that the ball came out of, the Borg probe. Maybe it's left open and they've flown in to try and attack from the inside. Which this one, unfortunately, is no more. Come on here, NCC 63361, possibly. And the USS Defiant taking a hell of beating. I mean, I wouldn't say this would have been, well, it must be part of the First Contact fleet. But Defiant properly taking a beating there. Nacelle, under section, front, really taking some massive damage. But this one here, the Sabre, looking absolutely, completely pristine. Not a scratch on her. I mean, it's a good looking ship, a very good looking, massive phaser beam, and they had the phaser cannons on Defiant. Very, very nice. NX 74205 for the Defiant. That one I can't make out, because the only number I can see on this one is there, which will be destroyed there. That's fine. I'm not number spotting. Yeah. I remember when the Star Treks came out to start with, you would know the numbers of the 12 Constitution class ships that were on. Well, when you had the models, at least anyway, you could make any of the 12, or you could just make your own variants, but then stick one of the 12 names on. But you kind of knew where you were back then. Now the universe has expanded so much that you've got so many different eras, so many different styles, so many different ways and numbers, and thousands upon tens of thousands of starships. And I think there's wasn't it one? I think it's either a fan-based one, but it starts off with 100,000. So if we start off on NX01, NX02, 3, 4, then you change the NX to an NCC, we've had over 100,000 starships. That's a hell of a lot of ships. We've got to keep track of the names on that. Right, May time, no, March time. Let's try for March. Try May in a bit. Okay, USS Endurance, NCC 5265. And has to be an Andorian, because it looks like he's got an antenna on his head and white hair. Okay, this is by Bill Krause. Row, row, row your boat. Where's the Shackleton? Okay, he made very good high seat chairs. Now, it was an Explorer, Shackleton. Oh yeah, I'm going to suggest that that is actually the wrong number. But you got 5265-2, so it's Shuttle 2, the Shackleton. That's... I can't think what sort of era that'd be. Because you've got on here uniformly, you've got the red for the engineering, and you've got the blue for science and medical. I don't know, is this a 2280s? I don't know. No, it's got to be a lot way past that, because the number, isn't it? It's got to be... Or has it? What? I don't... oh, okay. Now this is confusing me. The style looks pre-1701, 2366 era, or 2364, 2320, whatever it is, when Robert April's in charge. But the style of this bit looks after the original series, although... I don't know, but the uniforms look after original series, but they don't look like movie versions. I can't tell where this place is, where the actual background is, but I'm guessing it might be that place where they do all the shooting from, was it in Arizona? There are very famous peaks to the Trekkies. I don't know what they're called. I live in the UK. So I have never, and probably will never go over to America. I would love to tour around, but unfortunately, nah. It's never happened. Probably won't happen, but we'll see what happens in the future, shall we? That's really, it's a good twist on the Federation shuttlecraft. Very, very good twist. I'm trying to think these two lines up here. Maybe these, because they end there. That they might be the two ships, the Andorian and the Federation, side by side in orbit. Very, very interesting. I think these do look very familiar rocks from other... Maybe possibly from Star Trek Generations. Maybe they've added on certain bits to make it look familiar from lots of different points of view. I don't know, I'd like it. I really do like it. Well done, Bill. Really, really like that. I like the red and the blue inside. I think it's a good contrasting colours for a cockpit. Nice. Very nice. April. Let's get to April now, shall we? Hell, back to the Enterprise era. Alain Rivard. done this one. This is Joint Task Force. We have the Vulcan, and the Andorians. They are, aren't they? I do like that ship because you've got this big bulk of a battleship in front of you, these folding upwards wings, and the other section there, which should be the other way around, but it isn't. It kind of drops things down because you put these warp cells, potential weapons pods, I don't know, on the top of the wing, so it's not a standard ship where it's like it's a good twist on the whole starship idea, and I absolutely love the designs. And there we have the, I think probably the Enterprise. Can't tell a registration number anywhere or a name at all. Well, the only ones we actually knew was the Enterprise and the Columbia. They will have done a copy from what we had with the space shuttles in the 80s, which were the first one was the Enterprise, which was only a glider, and then we had the Columbia, which was the first shuttle to go into orbit. Will have been the Challenger and the Endeavour and a lot of the space shuttles. Yeah, that's such a good. It's the level, I think, this year. I think it's massively stepped up. Even though it was pretty good step to start with, it's absolutely stunning this year. Some asteroids on here. I mean, there must have been. I say he can't have done this on his own. The level of this planet work on here, it's stunning. Absolutely amazing. I mean, I never fully liked the Vulcan ring ships. They kind of looked like a Next Generation ship where it was kind of similar like that, ring in the middle, and they had a ball in the middle of it. I think there was it Contagion? No, it wasn't Contagion. Oh, the ship came in and they were legendary and they all had a disease. It was when Troy was going to get married, and he beamed over to it, and he was going to help them try and not have the disease because he had dreams of this woman who was on the bridge. But it looks very much like that. Instead of having the hole there and a ball in the middle, they put the ring around there as well, which makes Vulcans, it brings their design out of it now, because they've got curved wings, which possibly could be in a warp design, create a ring, I don't know. It's absolutely amazing. But I do love the Andorians. Now we're on to May. Oh, hello. Grissom. The sad and luckless name Grissom. The Oberth class. The first Oberth class we actually saw, NCC 638. With that number, you would have thought this would be an older one than the Enterprise. But it's a lot newer design than what the Enterprise, the 1701 would have been. This is John Eves. John Eves, I absolutely love your work. You're amazing. But this is just... So many things that I never realised that there was a cut on the back of here. There just looks like vents come from underneath on the nacelles and this strange overlapping part on the ship, but then a massive cut down there. So much streamlined. The ships of, this was from Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. They were just strangely streamlined, and in space you haven't got to be. The Klingon bird of prey in the background there was also the first time we saw that as well. It was a big departure, Star Trek 3, because you had the Excelsior, the Grissom, the bird of prey. The Enterprise got destroyed. Yeah. Impulse engines at the back. Still don't know fully on the layouts of this. This must have been an engineering section, but then piped up to get the nacelles. But why won't you have it in the middle, so at the back, then pipe it out? But I don't know. It's a lovely shape. I do love the Oberth class. The Klingon bird of prey there turned out eventually to be the HMS Bounty. This has to be the Genesis planet, but 3 moons. Well, I suppose it was made out of the Mutara Nebula, so could have not just made one planet, could have made moons and whatever else. Never really saw any on the film, I don't think. But I must get around to re-seeing it again. And it's like a very gaseous ring that goes around it as well. So there's a lot of artistic license on here. So very nice, John. Very, very nice. It's not as... There is a lot of detail work on here, but it's kind of... It's not as sharp as. It gives you a nice, softer glow to this. Very, very nice. The gun work on there. I need to stop staring at these now and actually get on with flicking through these, otherwise it might be a 3-week video. Right, June. June time. Hello, NCC 1926. We have an old style Miranda, possibly? An unrefitted Miranda class? Okay. Ooh. I'm looking into detail on this. This is obviously venting gas out from the bussard collector, and most of the nacelle is destroyed from the back. It's a more stumpier but wider out type of nacelle, but it's completely destroyed in the back by the Tholians. So, what is that in or out? I can't think. That looks kind of like a tractor beam coming from this ship. But he's obviously firing the blues out. Doubling a shield on that one, that Tholian craft. He's well and truly outnumbered. Not this time by Dan. Oh, come on. You Yango. Yano? Yeah, no. Yeah, okay. Looks like a very, very upgraded, but pre-movie, first movie class of ship there. And you've got your torpedo launch in the front, phaser banks, base scar along there. Doesn't look like it's going to actually make it to be upgraded to be for the movie era version. You've got the deck on the top here, so it has to be a Miranda type class. And we never saw officially anything like this, but it's a do like looking at stuff that could have been, or what might have been. A lot of good detail, a lot of raised. It looks very, very, yeah, because that looks raised high further up. I do like stuff with more depth to it. And I can't tell whether or not these two crashed into each other. Must be. Not this time. Not this time for what? Not gonna get away with it this time? Not gonna get away with it, you meddling kids. No. I don't know. I'll look into the story of what Dan actually did with the idea around this. Very nice. You've even got the patterns underneath here as well that you see underneath the secondary hull section of the Enterprise, Constitution class. Circle or square and this strange cutout square rectangle sort of shape. Lots of hatches. Very, very nice. Right. Let's go to... We have a centre section. We have a Daedalus class cutaway. Wow. USS Daedalus NCC 129. Oh, this is very nice. Cutaway created by Matthew Cushman. Nebula by Ali Rise. Daedalus patch by Carl Tate. Layout Doug Drexler. Again, amazing guy. Special thanks to Michael Okuda. Yeah, Michael Okuda is the guy. Is that these are Romulan ships? Ah, because they're obviously the Romulan bird of prey, but that's one of the older Romulan styles. Workhorse of the fleet. That's amazing. When we saw the Eagle Moss Daedalus class, absolutely loved that. It was amazing. And you've got all the stuff on the side here for what goes on all of this. It's a proper decent cutout. This is absolutely amazing. You gotta take your hat off for most of these guys, and their imagination goes beyond mine. You've got a conference room. What's this? A dining room area. You've even got a picture of the ring ship CVN 6. Oh, is it CVN 65 Enterprise? That's one of those were a Daedalus as well. Crew quarters, yeah, aisleways, bridge section on top has to be. All engineering section down here. Oh, even got a shuttle bay. There's a big shuttle in the back of here, and something smaller, like possibly like a work bee sort of thing. Oh, that's really, really nice though. It's these sections where the warp nacelles looks obviously the Bussard collector, and then there's big antenna on the front, which is 31 matter induction needle. Okay, let's have a look at what number 10 is. Access hatch to number 9, main warp engine manifold. Okay, so that's what these upright sections are there. Number 20 there, warp power assembly ejection port down here, so if you want to just pop, out it goes. 22 on the back of here, plasma diverter / condenser. It's just, it baffles, not baffles, it amazes me that you've got so much detail work on this of something that was, it was a drawing, it was a small model, it was nothing, but they're just bringing it so much to life. There's so much more underneath here, around here. You could do a full section of it, but it's, yeah, I do love this sort of stuff. Really properly goes into it, into detail work on it. Big thumbs up. What's 45, 46? 45 mess recreation room. What's right in the front? What? 46. Oh, sorry. 45 is a forward nuclear torpedo launcher. And main phases. So you'd have main phase and a nuclear missile launcher, which are okay, piped in from the centre of the ship. There's a full stairwell going all the way down. Amazing, amazing. Right, let's get to July. That looks like an Enterprise C. Yeah, Fate at Narendra 3 by Matt Boardman. But there were 4 Romulan warbirds, were there not? Yes, Enterprise C, NCC 171C. Where's the 4th? Because they all fired and something happened and they all combined and yada yada, and it sent the Enterprise C through a wormhole going forward in time. Hooray! Which then bumped him into the Yesterday's Enterprise episode of Star Trek Next Generation Series 3. I mean, they do look a little bit different than the DDRX class we saw from the Next Generation series. Not majorly different, but it does weird me out a little bit, because the story of the Romulans went, they were in this original series, they got the cloaking device from them, then we didn't see anything in the films until Star Trek 6, where the Romulan ambassador was conspiring with the Klingons and the Federation to kill the peace treaty between the Federation and the Klingon Empire before it started. And then they apparently vanished. But then, is it 2320s or 30s, I think it is, when this happened? They're around. So they're always kind of... The idea was, I think, they'd always come out and do skirmish border wars with what was around, and then Federation would bring out their best flagship just to test them. Which is what they did with the Neutral Zone episode in first series Next Generation. They'd come out, they'd pull their head above water, and then Federation would send whatever. And it would always be the best ship. And they're just to see exactly how well everybody else is getting along without them. But they'd obviously progressed a lot further than what we had. It's crafty Romulans. So yeah, the episode where they got sent forward in time, they were never there to save the Klingons at the time, which kicked off a second Khitomer Accord, which continued with the peace treaty. So they were away, they had a war, yada yada, and then they went back in time, got their arse kicked, but we're not sure if the ship survived, but some of the crew survived. What was enough for them to say, for the Klingons to say, okay, maybe we'll be at peace with you after all. Nice one for July. August time. That looks to me like a Deep Space Nine. Ah, okay. We have a Jem'Hadar ship, we have the Defiant coming out of the wormhole, and aren't these Peregrine class fighters? There were actually, I think there was a ship that they did on Voyager, which they used the same model but made it more of a bigger scale. That looks like a Jem'Hadar, yeah, that's, where is he? Here he is. Yeah, one of those bug fighters. It's like a back end of a beetle or something. There's obviously a battle going on, and Defiant coming back to save the day. Da, da, da. And this is actually, that's the top of the station. Okay. Because there's a bridge, there's a promenade, bridge section, antennas at the top, more habitat, is it a habitat ring I think it is, or cargo areas. I didn't fully understand the layout of the Deep Space Nine station, big red dot at the bottom of it. Now this is For the Cause, and this is by Gabriel Kona. We've got 3, 4, oh, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Jem'Hadar ships. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Federation and Defiant. This was like an older Deep Space Nine before it was fully upgraded, although it possibly might not be if they're firing. Yeah, I think they're just reflecting light. I didn't mind Deep Space Nine as a series. It was a good series, but they had to push it. And how they got 7 series out of it, with nowadays stuff being cancelled after 2 good series, I don't know how they made it to 7 years of sci-fi with Deep Space Nine. Because the storyline had to evolve. It was the case for 2 years, we have to evolve, we're on a station, it's not going anywhere. And I think a lot of when you look back over it, when you actually lived through it, you could see it needed something else. Hence the Defiant came into it, hence the upgrades on the station, hence the war and the takeover of the station, hence the battle to retake Deep Space Nine and the subsequent ending of the series. But it didn't stay at one little bit, it always evolved, which was one of the good things about it. I think it was one of the guys who did Battlestar Galactica who was one of the one writing influences on the entire series. It was just absolutely amazing. But it couldn't stay as one little idea, it had to evolve, which is what one of the major things in Star Trek is you have to evolve, you have to change. So very nice indeed, that one. Very nice. Let's go to September now. It looks like it's the small picture from the front, and we have, very strangely, Starfleet Command. Well, that's a very, I don't fully remember that. Or do I? I don't fully remember that type of building. Or do I think I do. I think you mainly saw this part here. You didn't see that bit, but it's Golden Gate. I didn't think they were to do with San Francisco. I don't know. The only time I ever saw them before was in Men in Black, and they kind of gone clunked together as a spaceship. It was one of the world fairs, world trade fairs, or something like that. But you've got the Voyager's final return back to Section 001. Yeah, Starfleet Command, San Francisco, Sector 001. This is a Doug Drexler one. So it looks very much like he's used either a lot of real world stuff, put them on top of unless he's completely redrawn absolutely everything. If he has, he's completely insane. Two people at the bottom here in original, no, next generation outfits, although we should have gone past those by now. It's like a flyby. The Defiant, okay, a bit weird now. Defiant, and we've got a shuttlecraft, can't fully tell, different logo on the side there, blue lines down there and the different logo from the Federation, and two old style Vulcan ships. Different. Actually, aren't these from the original series, these lighting? I don't know. It does look very good. If he has drawn this from scratch and not copied and pasted the other sections to put these on top of, then just absolutely phenomenal, the level. It's a good Voyager as well, to be honest. Like I said before, it's lovely and smooth. Looks like all inside here is like just cloud and gases churning around. But like I said, it's a lot smoother model. You could get away with the shape and the add-ons, and the size of it wasn't very big, but you could get away with not having too many extra panels. There are underneath on the sections on here some little bits and bats, different colours, but it could have been over detailed, the Voyager. Yeah, that's very nice pictures. Nothing saying that they can't have transported that from somewhere else, but I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah, it's lovely, that. Nice one, Doug. Right, we're getting close to the last quarter of the year, to October. We have the Saratoga. Ah, this is Star Trek 4. An intelligence unknown to us. That's what the captain of the Saratoga said. NCC 1887. Didn't realise that was a number. I know I couldn't see it properly on screen. So it was just the resolution when you used to see it on a VHS or a DVD just wasn't enough to make out the numbers. We knew it was Saratoga because that's what she said. But this was the whale probe that came to Earth to say, why have you stopped transmitting? It's by Michael Wiley. Well, we always knew that it wasn't completely flat. It's like these... It's kind of a strange effect. It's like having a flat piece of metal, wood, whatever, and it's painted over. And then you go over the heat gun and it kind of bubbles up a little bit as it's coming off from the material. Yeah, I'm just looking at the ship. It's like the John Eves one. It's kind of, it's not as sharp as the other ones are, but your eyes are taken by the whale probe. It's a massive probe with this strange brain that came out on a beam of light with its transmitter. The Saratoga looks very much like it's misty, very much like the Star Trek 3 look. Granted, this is Star Trek 4, but the look, everything was kind of... It all looked a bit beige. Star Trek 2 and Star Trek 3 looked like the ships were beige, and there was kind of a mist, a filter on the lenses for the cameras. Wasn't as crisp as what it could have been. Still nice, still a good indication of what they were, but very nice indeed. Lovely nebula work on here. Absolutely amazing. And from a Saratoga. The Saratoga was actually the ship that he had Benjamin Sisko was on. It wasn't the same Saratoga, it was a different one, same class. But let's go on to November, shall we? Excuse me. That's a very big Romulan ship. That's a big kick-ass Romulan ship. Because if these are on top of it, that is below, and these are D7s, that Romulan ship has to be massive. It says Romulan Leviathan, Tobias Richter. Wow, that is just... It's the same detail work, because you've got these like same eyeball sort of sections, section there, the underneath, the double neck section, the higher neck, the lower neck, is connected to the main bodywork, which had the upper deck, lower section, big gap in the middle. But to put D7s on top of it, to be that small, and the D7s are probably the size of this head section on the front of the Warbird. It's just that, I don't know, either have done the scale completely wrong, or like it says, it's Leviathan. It's a massive ship. You've even got some weird cracking along there as well. If these are all digital art, then you've even got, it's like it's been painted. Possible raising of the hell of a lot of texture work on there, isn't there? It's absolutely stunning. Even got the planet behind here, it's very... And you've got this red section. It has to be... Does it have to be Kronos? I just don't know. I really don't know. But why would, unless the Klingons have captured the Romulan Warbird, or those are not Klingon ships, where are the Klingon symbols? There aren't any. Original series, right? The Klingons sold the copy, gave away the copy, had it stolen from them by the Romulans. These must be Romulan D7s, but in a next generation sort of time frame. See, I can't see any Klingon. There's usually a Klingon words, symbols. There's always the large three-pointed Klingon symbol on, but these I've not got it on. Well, this is definitely Romulan, with having the Romulan symbol on there. Yeah, that's all I can think. And this must be Romulus or Remus, and they've yeah, brought some old D7s out of storage. Okay. I like the way a picture can change your mind over a lot of things. Very intelligent. Makes you think. Yeah, makes you change opinions, and unless they made these D7s as a smaller ship. I don't know. Love that. That's really nice. Nice one, Tobias. Right, December. You ready for December? Because I think I am. There we go. The Enterprise E, the Sovereign class, in battle against how many? I don't think these are full-scale Borg ships. Jeff Summers, the Rock and the Hard Place. Okay, let's have a look into this. There's a huge rock there, some other rocks here. Don't know if it's part of a... I don't know what they're part of, to be honest. Doesn't... I don't know, it kind of looks a bit odd. You got these escape pods along here. They look like... They don't look on place for some reason. And you've got the Enterprise firing onto one of the Borg cubes. Doesn't look like a huge... like mini cubes or something. I mean, I like it. You've got to look at the Enterprise E, the Sovereign class. You've got to wonder whether or not this was like the Galaxy class, whether a section could come off, whether or not this would disconnect and you'd have the saucer section fly off on, or whether or not these lines along here, straight lines, would come into play on something as well, whether or not this top section would come off, whether or not the whole thing would split and you have two side sections, each with an impulse engine each, and you're left with this long straight section with the warp engines of the battle bridge. Don't know. That's just me thinking out loud anyway. I don't think it was ever anything on there about the Sovereign class. Maybe we'll find something out in the new Picard series. You never know. You never know. Things always happen in Star Trek. Yeah, they look like they've possibly run away from something. I don't know. But that phaser blast doesn't seem to have done any damage whatsoever anyway. Just impacted on the surface. A nice planetoid behind. It looks better over here. It looks like a very much fragmented, rocky sort of world. Yeah, and looks a bit strange over here. Kind of look, if you just look at that section there, on this side, it kind of looks a bit nebularish. But when you look at the rest of it, it kind of, it's nice. I don't know if it's like a Ganymede or a Callisto sort of moon. Because that has the dark, weird section on it, isn't it? One of our own moons around Jupiter. Any of this artwork, it's completely beyond what I can do. That's why I do these videos. I can just look at it and think, wow, it's absolutely amazing. So, I think I said in a video before, if I could do 10th as well as these guys, I think I'd be impressed. But to do anything like this takes some pure talent. And this has been seen pictures from some absolute brilliant talented artists on a 2020. God, 2020, blimey! I'll be retired soon. I'm sure I will be. Not for quite a few years, mad. But yeah, absolutely amazing. These rock formations as well, the lines, the scoring. Whether or not they are proper rock formations on Earth and then put in place, they look so in place as maybe an asteroid around this planet. I don't know. Really, really nice. But like I said, I wouldn't say these are the huge ones. I'd say they're probably a tactical cube. They don't look as big as what they should be. So, but then one Sovereign class against 5 Borg tactical cubes. I don't think that they should survive. But hey ho. Really, really good. Right. I'll have to wait until January. This will have to go on my wall. There we have the final picture, which is a recap of all 13 what we have inside. Doesn't do a recap of the front, obviously, but all your 13, including the Daedalus class ship teardown. Right, anyway, that's the end of that one. You will have to wait another 12 months now for another one, which is ridiculous, isn't it? This is a one a year video. I wish I got 1 million views on these videos with the Ship of the Line, but hey ho, it's not really going to happen. But yeah, the Ship of the Line 2020 calendar, we're still in August at the moment, but the 2020 calendar is out for now if you want to go and buy it. From your local bookshops and other retailers are available. Go out, find it. Yes, really, really good. I'm very impressed with this year's. It's a CBS, unfortunately, CBS, but at least it's a good calendar this year. It's a very good calendar. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe. I've got a ton of these Ships of the Line calendars. Oh, just search, there's a playlist, full playlist of them, all from 2001 up to 2000, well, this will be on the playlist as well. Please check out my channel, please have a look around, see what you can find in there, like, share, subscribe. I'll see you in another video. Bye bye for now.